Hey everyone, so today we're diving into a topic that, on the surface, sounds like just basic math, but it's actually one of the sharpest tools in any modern business strategy. We're talking about headcount analytics. And trust me, this is so much more than just counting people. It's about making every single person count.
All right, let's jump right in. I want you to think about a really simple question. How many people work for your company? You could probably find that number in, what, a minute? But then comes the real kicker. The question that changes everything. Are they the right people, in the right roles, and, this is a big one, at the right cost? Yeah, suddenly, that simple question gets a whole lot more complicated. And answering that? Well, that's the entire point of headcount analytics. To get this right, you really have to shift your thinking. We need to stop being scorekeepers who just, tally up names on a list. We need to start thinking like the general manager of a pro sports team. A great GM never just asks, how many players we got? No way. They're asking, do we have the right mix of talent, the right contracts, and the raw potential to actually go out and win a championship? It's all about strategy. So, to get us all thinking like GMs, here's our game plan. First, we're going to go beyond the headcount to nail down the basics. Then, we'll talk about the strategic advantage. After that, we'll get into the how with smart workforce segmentation and the analyst toolkit. And we'll finish up with the coolest part, predicting your future team. Okay, first up, beyond the headcount. Let's get a really clear definition of what this modern approach is all about. So, what is it really? At its heart, headcount analytics is just the practice of using your workforce data to make smarter, high-level business decisions. And I'm not just talking about HR stuff here. This is about everything. Your annual budget, your big growth plans, even managing risk. It's basically the intelligence engine that powers the entire company. Now, let's get into why this is such a huge strategic advantage. This is the part that turns a simple HR report into a critical conversation for the CEO, the CFO, the entire C-suite. Because this is where you start answering the really tough, high-stakes questions that keep leaders up at night. Questions like, hey, are we bloated in one department but starving for talent in another? Can we actually afford this huge expansion we're planning? Do we have the skills we're going to need 3 years from now? Or are we about to be left in the dust? And maybe most importantly, where are we about to lose our best people? See, headcount analytics moves you from just guessing to actually knowing the answers. So, how do you find those data-driven answers? Well, it all starts with one absolutely crucial step: smart workforce segmentation. Think of it like a puzzle. You can't solve it until you sort out all the different pieces, right? It's the same with your team. Let me show you a super common mistake. On the left, you see a simple head count, 12 people. Okay, fine. But that number is totally flat. It tells you nothing. Now look at the strategic view on the right. Ah, now we're talking. You've got 10 full-time employees, or FTEs, and 2 contractors. That distinction is everything because they have totally different costs, different legal implications, different strategic uses. Here's a simple first step you can take. Just segment your people into 2 groups: roles that generate revenue and roles that support the business. Right away, your picture of the company gets a whole lot clearer. And to get that kind of clarity, you're going to need the right equipment. So let's talk about the analyst's toolkit. Basically, what you need to get the job done, from the simplest spreadsheet to some seriously powerful platforms. The journey here usually follows a pretty clear path. Look, a ton of companies start with something like Excel for basic tracking. It's there, it works, it's a great starting point. But when you get serious, you graduate to tools like Power BI to actually visualize the data and spot the trends. And then, when you're ready to go pro, you move to integrated platforms that literally plug your people data right into the core financial and planning systems of the company. That's the big leagues. And that evolution leads us right to our final and, I think, most powerful section: predicting your future team. This is where we stop analyzing what already happened and start using data to see what's coming. It's like having a crystal ball for your workforce. To show you what I mean, let's look at a quick real-world case study. We've got a major retailer, and they're planning a massive expansion. And when I say massive, I mean it. They weren't just opening a store or two. They were planning to launch 50 new locations. 50. Just try to imagine the hiring nightmare that could be. This put them face to face with what was basically a billion-dollar question, one that would make or break the whole project. Who exactly do we need to hire? For which specific stores? And the most critical piece, by what date so we can actually open on time and be successful? So, how'd they find the answer? Well, first, they used data from their top performing stores to build a model that could forecast the exact staffing they'd need in each new place. Second, they identified the absolute key roles, like experienced store managers, that they had to get right. And third, and this is the genius part, they hired proactively. They started building a pipeline of talent months ahead of time instead of scrambling at the last minute. And the result of all that data-driven work? It was incredible. They had a way smoother launch. They seriously slashed their hiring and training costs. And most importantly, they had the right people in the right jobs from the very first day they opened for business. I mean, that is the power of this stuff in action. Which brings us all the way back to where we started, but with a little twist. So, I'll leave you with this one final thought to chew on. When you look at your own company, your own team, are you still just counting heads, or are you using your data to make every single head count? The answer to that question could literally change everything.